Hello everyone and welcome to Mergers, Acquisitions and Deals, and in episode 9 Johann Nogueira will explain how he met his business partner and how he's done an amazing deal along with other partners that he has in the tech space. I think you're going to find it really fascinating. There's a couple of case studies here and I hope you enjoy them. Don't forget to subscribe below, hit that notifications bell, and you'll get the latest videos as they are released. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. Enjoy the episode. Bye for now. Hello everyone and welcome to the MAD podcast. And with me today is our guest, Johann Nogueira. Welcome, Johann.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Great, thank you. Really good. And now you're speaking from Melbourne in Australia, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, it's nice. Good that you can join us today, and I appreciate you being here. Would you like to introduce yourself and let our listeners know a little bit about your background, please?
Yeah, for sure. So, hey guys, my name's Johann Nogueira. I own a couple of different companies, 2 digital agencies, a SaaS company, and a business education company. And started off as a PhD student and turned into a tech investor.
Fantastic. And yeah, we had a chat earlier, and your history sounds really interesting, and I'm sure you've got a lot of value to share with us today, so I appreciate that. So you've got a couple of case studies for us, Johann. Would you like to share the first one?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start off with, I met this guy, and he said, hey, Johann, you've got this amazing technology, and I want to turn this technology into a $100 million company. Now, at this point in time in my journey, $100 million seemed like a ridiculous amount of money and a number that I wasn't used to hearing. So I said, okay, how are we going to do that? And how's it going to not stop me from pulling all my hair out? He said, well, it's easy. We build businesses in a proper systemized way. I said, okay, this is interesting. I said, tell me a little bit about yourself. And turns out the man I was sitting in front of has been written up in newspapers and has done so many deals. And I had no idea who I was actually sitting in front of. This guy bought this company. Got access to the company. This company that he took over was doing $6 million a year, but it was costing the company $7 million a year to run. So it was doing negative $1 million. It had a great product, but all the systems were missing from there in order for them to capitalize on the business and to expand it and grow it properly. Also, it had a lot of bad leadership. So over 4 or 5 years, I think it was 5 years, it took him to transform that company. He brought in his own team, he rebranded all the products and everything like that. And he turned this company around into a $700 million company. From there, I was like, wow, sitting there dumbfounded. I'm like, that is incredible. And he went into full detail about how he did that. Then he said all it took for him there was to make a deal with a company in the UK, which then gave him distributorship of his products into the UK market through 2,500 pharmacies, which then took the company valuation to a $1.2 billion company. And that's where I was absolutely sold and realized that you can buy a company, you can turn it around, and because it's already got most of the foundations set up, if you tweak it, if you optimize it, you can then grow it exponentially with the right partnerships. Yeah. And so that was a huge mind shift.
And I think, Johann, what happens is that you might read the stories or you hear about them and so, but to actually meet an entrepreneur face to face that's been through that's built it is incredible. I mean, he must have been, he is a very dynamic and experienced entrepreneur, I guess.
Oh, for sure. His story starts when he was 10 selling picture frames. And then now he's ended up in a position where not only him, but not only his children, but their grandchildren will never have to work again. Yeah, with the generational wealth that he has created for them.
And maybe there's another lesson there about getting your kids to start earlier as well. Well, that's fantastic. So you hear this story of that amazing entrepreneur. He really inspires you and motivates you. Well, what happens then?
Well, we go into business, we build a company, and that company gets to 20 million in 4 years. And it was the easiest company that I'd ever built. And I was just sitting there going, wow.
And what was
This
the
is
what was the business?
It's a SaaS, so a software as a service for buildings. So in the buildings, we build mobile apps and platforms to manage the entire building. And so we turn the building into an ecosystem. So every stakeholder in the building, whether you're a service provider, through to a tenant, through to an owner, has their own ecosystem on their phone, with which they can manage their entire environment
Wow.
in the building. It's called Building Interactive.
Building Interactive. I mean, I'm in real estate property, and that sounds fascinating. So I'll have a look at that. So
Yeah, for sure.
you went into business together. How did you apportion the roles? Who did what?
Yeah, great question. So there were five people, five parties who all brought different skill sets into the table. Two of them were really great at ASX listings and exponential growth. That once all the capital was raised to take it international, etc. The other two were really well versed in the property market and knew all the right key people who could then use the technology. And then I was the one who was building the technology. So I'd build the technology, the other two would go and sell it and get everybody on board, and then the other two would grow it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's fantastic. When you've got five people bringing those amazing skill sets, things happen, don't they? So where are you today with that business?
It's been running by itself. I actually moved out of the business. Now I'm just a shareholder for the last 2 years because I systemized the entire business. It's like ordering a pizza now. We've got our clients who call up and say, hey, I'd like another mobile app with this function, and let's have it done. And in about 2 weeks, we'd have it ready for them. And there was I couldn't really innovate that product anymore. So yeah, so that's where that's at.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. That's a great story. And so those are the two kind of case studies that you've shared with us. Is there any kind of lessons that is there anything you do differently that knowing what you now know, looking back at your career, is there anything that you'd like to have done different? Maybe got started in M&A a bit faster, maybe.
Oh, most definitely. Soon after meeting him, back in 2019, I bought another company. Now I have, as I mentioned at the start, I've got a couple of different companies, and one of my companies is a digital agency. Now this digital agency has been running for more than 10 years, and we have 36 key relationships with other companies who buy from us. I noticed one of the companies stopped ordering from us, and their ordering was declining rapidly. So I called up the business owner and I said, hey, what's going on? It's been 2 years and all I see is a downward trend. Do you not like me anymore? Why are you not ordering from us? And then he said, well, it's got nothing to do with that. He goes, I love you guys, but my business partner is terminal. He's got cancer and I'm trying to run around and do everything. I don't know what to do. I said, well, okay, how about, I look at buying the business, because I knew we'd been servicing that business for the last 5 years. So I knew the quality or the caliber of clients that we were, that were in that book. So I said to him, let's have an audit of the company. Let's look at the book. And we looked at the book and he had 800 blue chip clients in that database. And I said, oh my God, I go, you are sitting on a gold mine. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about, because to him, the services that he used to sell them were $5,000 and $10,000 packages for the year. So I say, okay, look, let's do a managed buyout and let's agree on this number. And what I want you to do is I want you to come to some of the meetings with me and introduce me as a new owner of the company. And when we're doing the introductions, and if you like working with us over the next 6 months, there's a potential role for you there long term. So that was 2019, October. And then, the first meeting we go to, it's a big mining company. And we're sitting down and he's introducing us. And by the time I walked out of that meeting, we closed a $360,000 deal. And his eyes were he was lit up going, what the F? Like he's never seen that much in a contract before. And then the next meeting that we go to a couple of days later, we walk out with a $200,000 contract. And he's sitting there going, what is going on? He goes, oh my God, you weren't kidding me. There is gold in this business. And the lesson is actually, there's gold in everybody's business. They just don't realize it. There's so much, unused assets that most businesses have, which they haven't tapped into.
Yeah.
And
I can listen to this, Johann, right now, thinking, right, okay, so what did he say in that meeting that got him that massive revenue contract? Is it just the fact that you asked for the order?
Well, no, I put myself in their shoes and I said, well, if I was your company, this is what I would do and this is what I would build and this is how I would take over your industry. And they said, we want that. How much is it going to cost? I said, well, that's 30 grand a month. They go, okay, here's a check.
Thought it through. You thought, what do they need? What would be a great solution? And then you just offered it to them and they saw the vision.
Exactly. And that at the end of the day, people don't, they love that. So we do a lot of research before going to a meeting, and we make sure that we understand who the players are in their market. We understand what they're lacking. We take apart their entire sales process. We'll mystery shop them. So by the time we go there, most of the time when we leave a meeting, their jaws are on the floor going, how do you know more about my company than I do? I'll give you another example. So in the office building where we work, there's a property developer. And this property developer, he's a bit of he's a very showy person. Let's put it that way. He loves parking his car in the no parking zone so everybody can see his cars and all this kind of stuff. And everybody walks past it and goes, okay, cool. So anyway, so one day I see him walking to the elevator and I say to him, how much money are you spending on your advertising right now? Now, I'd already done my research and found out that he's spending about $150,000 a month on ads. And so he said, oh, I don't know if I should tell you those numbers, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. Well, let me tell you, I've done a little research and you're paying way too much money. He goes, I don't know what that means, but, I've got people who take care of that. I said, okay, cool. So I set up a little campaign on Facebook, and I'd spoken to his agency, and I knew that he was setting an appointment for $800 an appointment. By Monday, his office was receiving calls with a whisper. So for those of you who don't know what a whisper is, it says, you are now receiving a lead from blah, and it would say my company's name. And in that morning, they had 16 leads. And so he comes chasing me the next time he sees me going, how did you get all these appointments for my sales team? I said, well, that's what we do. So let's have a chat. And so we always do a thing called results in advance, where you show, what you're about. And that's all these meetings. It's always about showing that we have spent the time, we have thought through their business, and we can get them the results before asking them for money.
Yeah, and it's a great way to do business because they can see evidence of your competence and your ability before they even do any deal. So that's a great way to do it. Well, it's that's I love the things you talk about, the leverage, the skills, bringing the skill set, doing work in advance. I love all of that. The real qualities and assets that can help you drive your business. And you've offered a lot of value today to our audience, and I appreciate that. So, is there any top tips to for budding entrepreneurs that are looking to move into mergers and acquisitions?
Just do it. Do one. It doesn't matter if you lose money. Just try one. And then through the experience, there's nothing that can buy experience other than, you have to try it. You have to fail. Failure is part of life. And if you're an entrepreneur, it's okay. But the more times you try, I've tried more times than some people. I've failed more times than some people I've even tried. That's because every day we're coming up with new ideas, and I'll just tell my team, I say, okay, this is what we're going to do this week. Let's go. And we do all sorts of crazy things.
I'm sure you do. And a lot of them don't work out, and some of them do. And some of them are like gangbusters, as we were saying in the UK.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure there's people going to be listening that would love to work with you, or maybe ask you about your digital marketing business. Is there any maybe joint venture partners or any opportunities that you'd like people to bring to you?
Yeah, for sure. So I love joint ventures. Joint ventures is one of my favorite things in the whole world, because you get to leverage each person's abilities and assets and create something that's such greater than what we could have done individually. So anybody who's got any joint ventures, especially in the tech space, I love the tech space. I love growing SaaS companies. But in general, if you want to know about how to grow and scale a business, that's my specialty. For those of you listening who don't know who Jay Abraham is, you should go look the guy up. Back when I was 20 years old, I remember seeing a video or a seminar, I can't remember what it was, of this man who was charging $25,000 to speak, and then he'd figure out everything that was wrong in your business, and he could give you the solutions. So when I was 20, I had my mindset on, when I walk into any business, I want to be able to tell them where they're leaving money on the table, what's broken, how they can fix it, and how they can increase their lifetime value of their clients and the bottom line of their business. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a,
Yeah.
I'd love to.
I think it's great. It really is. I listen to him quite a lot, so that's fantastic. Okay, so how can people get hold of you, Johann?
Awesome, cool. So where I like to hang out, my little space on the internet, is a group on Facebook called Business Authorities Community. So if you're interested in building, growing, and scaling, come there, join us there. Or you can go to businessauthorities.com/new NEW-training. And you can get about 4 hours of access to some of my training there. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it and really had a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and thank you for joining us. And I hope everybody, I'm sure they will, just to hear all the value you've shared with us today. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Johann.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Hope you enjoyed that episode with Johann, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from him in the very near future. Now, in the next episode, episode number 10 of Mergers, Acquisitions and Deals, Jeanette Holm will be sharing her case study. So take a look at that when it's released. And if you subscribe below and hit that notifications bell, you'll get the latest videos as they are released. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. Bye for now. See you in the next episode.